today's workshop is going to be a little off the whim. Obviously, we were prepared to show you WhatsApp integration today, but that didn't go over well. So this is going to be a bit of a longer one. This isn't prepared, so you guys will run into a bunch of errors together. You'll kind of see how I encounter those and what do I do about navigating those. And what I'm going to show you today is kind of how you can do some dynamic carousels and stuff in VoiceFlow. So if you have like an e-commerce store and you wanted to do some type of like product recommendation or really any type of like chat with database, you'll be able to pull information from like an Airtable or whatever type of database you have and then show visually some cards and carousels in your VoiceFlow chat. Someone said, what are dynamic carousels? You'll see in a couple minutes. Seth said, ooh, live troubleshooting. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. So I'm going to be doing this. I'll be doing it just as an example for like a supplement store. And basically what we'll be able to do is just pull images from the store and then just use the information that's already present on the store. So just to confirm for anyone who's just joining, so WhatsApp Meta was being a little gay and they restricted my account. So we're pushing that to later in this week. And we're doing a kind of off the whim workshop. We're going to be building something completely from scratch, unprepared. So it's going to be a long one. You guys are going to see a little behind the scenes of how I do things. And yeah, it'll be good. Can you explain dynamic carousel? Yeah, so that's just wait a second and then you guys will see in a sec. So here I'm in a brand new VoiceFlow project. Just going to delete it. So the first thing we want to do is I'm going to draw this string out. We're going to do a carousel. So basically I have a carousel here and I'm just going to go on Gorilla Minds and I'm just going to find a product. I'll just right click this and then hit copy link address. From here I can go back into VoiceFlow, click link, and then just paste this in. For the card title, link invalid, make sure. All right, so maybe we can't just use these images. Let me just try to click on one of these. Copy image address, that's probably what we have to do. So let me just do this. Yeah, there we go. So you just have to right click, copy image address. Enter card title. What is this product called? Gorilla Mode Nitric. Gorilla Mode Nitric. And then card description, let's see. It's a pre-workout. Yep. Stimulant-free pre-workout formula. Okay. Just write stimulant-free pre-workout formula. This is just an example, right? Then from here, we can add some buttons. So we can do something like visit product. And just for this, we'll leave it at this, just for this demonstration purposes. And then for an action, we can add a go open URL action. And what we want to do is just grab a link to this product. So we can just paste this link. All right, cool. And I'll demonstrate to what that does in a second. And then what we want to do is add another card. So this by itself is a single card. And then a carousel is basically multiple cards that you can scroll through left to right. And I'll show you that in a second. Let me just go back and grab a different product. Let's just do Gorilla Mode Protein. All right, let me copy image address. Paste the link in here. Card title, Gorilla Mode Protein. That's it. Eventually, we can just add all of these flavors and stuff in the store in our Airtable database. Is what we're going to end up storing this stuff in. Enter card title. All right, Gorilla Mode Protein, card description. Fully transparent, 30 servings, high quality whey protein. We'll just paste that. Cool. Add a button. We're going to call this visit product. Product. All right, cool. Actions, open URL. Let's grab the URL. Whoops. Cool. All right. Now let's see what this looks like. So if you just run this block, this is what a carousel looks like, right? You can scroll through. If I want to visit this product, I can click this button. Boom, it takes me to the product. I can go back, scroll through, and basically what we're going to be doing is automating this process. So usually, you can just set these carousels, but they're pretty strict. Like whatever you put in these carousels here is what you're going to get out. What we're going to do is we're going to add a bunch of these products to a database. We'll use Airtable just because it's easy to understand. We've already introduced it into the courses. And then what we can do is send requests to Airtable, right? We can prompt it in a way that it can create product recommendations based on a user input. And then we can have it create an Airtable query so that it can query the database and then find what it thinks are relevant products to the user input. and then we can return that and dynamically generate a carousel. So let me just show you how we're going to do this, how we can take advantage of dynamically generating carousels. Usually you could use code, which is a bit cheaper, but obviously it's more complex. And I'm just going to show you guys an easy way to do it. So what we want to do is hop into custom actions. Now you guys aren't familiar with what these are yet, but you will be introduced in the courses in the no code automation section. What these are custom actions that are coded, and you can set these up. So like if you have a developer on your team, they can set these custom actions up, and then they can make it so it's easier for you to put inputs or whatever you want to do whenever you're designing these workflows. And basically just think of it like a way to just design your own functions using code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this dynamic carousel. Cool. Now, what I want to demonstrate to you guys is how we can actually do this. So if I just click this carousel, right, I'm going to right click the screen and I'm going to hit inspect. Now, if I go to sources network, I'm going to look up the interact endpoint because that's the endpoint that Voiceflow calls when it's launching its conversations. So I just have interact in the filter, and then what I'm going to do is just run this. And you can see when I run this, we now get a response here. And what this is it's dynamically it's basically the JSON. So whenever you save a Voiceflow template, it's basically in a type of JSON format. So this is basically this whole payload here is just listing the entire format of the current workflow. So what I'm going to do is we want to find, let me just move my mic closer so I don't have to lean over and speak. All right. Let me know if you guys can still hear me pretty well. So what I'm going to do is we're going to find the payload for carousel. So let's keep looking. And here it is. You can see we have carousel, layout, cards. It has all the information that we've input. So what we want to do is basically just take this payload, collapse it just with this little arrow right here. And then what we can do is just highlight over this so we can copy everything at once. If I just open this again, you can see this whole carousel is now copied. You just right click and then copy this. And then if I just head back into this custom action, we can connect a string from the start to this new custom action. And what we want to add in the action body is the payload that we just copied. Now, if I go ahead and run this, all right, we got something wrong. Hold on. Oh, this needs to be named exactly like it is in the payload, which is carousel. So let me just make sure this should work now. Yep, here we go. So you can see we have the same exact carousel as we do up here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have AI, this JSON body that we just added in here. We're going to have AI dynamically generate this based on some data that we pull back from our Airtable. Let's see. Let me just look in the chat, see how everyone's finding this. All good, G. All right, cool. Everyone can hear me. So let's get set up with Airtable. Here, I'm just in the Airtable that we use as an example in the lessons. And let's think about how we want to format this. So first, we're going to want some product names. So let me just name this product name. Cool. Save. Then we're going to want, let's see. We're going to want the type of product. So how I want to do this is based on, just for demo purposes, I want to do this based on like muscle growth. This is a pretty broad supplement company. I'll do like muscle growth, sleep, categories like that. And that way, what we can do is provide the AI the different categories that we have. So we say, here's the available products that you have. You can query sleep products, muscle building, or we'll call it like pre-workout products, protein products. Like we'll just look through and then we'll create a bunch of different categories. And then AI will pick one of those categories that it finds helpful to the user query. So for instance, if I'm a user and I'm like, hey, I'm struggling with sleep, what supplements can I get? AI is going to create a query to query the Airtable specifically for these sleep products. And then it's going to return that to a second AI that's going to then convert that into natural language and then send that back to the user. All right, so, okay. So what we want is we have product name. Let's get a description. We want a product description. Now we're probably Don't want to paste this whole thing, but I guess we can. This might cause us some issues because it's a multi-line party. We could even save this supplement facts and then add that as like, hey, what are the supplement facts for this? And then we could produce that image. But all right, so we want the product name. We want the product category. So this is a status, it's single select. Let's just add a bunch of categories. So we'll add, let me just do a quick browse of this channel. So, all right, so we have pre-workout formulas. That I'll consider as like gym stuff. Protein, I'll consider as like health, I guess, like food. We might need to think about how we're going to do this a little bit more. Dream, so this is a sleep one. Smooth, this is like focus, mental clarity. It has nootropics. Just more pre-workout. Let's see what else. Amino acids. So I think we'll label it as like gym products. So that'll be stuff that you're using directly for the gym. I think we'll do pre-workout and post-workout. So like protein would be like post-workout. We'll just categorize as post-workout. Hydration, we'll count that as pre-workout. I guess that would be during workout. All right, let's see what else they kind of have. Top products, shop by category, pre-work. All right, we can just use the categories that they have here. So pre-workouts, energy drinks, intra-workouts, which is during workouts, post-workouts, cool, stimulant-free, nootropics, bedroom and sleep support, nice, recovery, nice, fat burners, botanicals, health and wellness. Yeah, so we'll just use these same exact categories, and then we'll just do a little bit of prompt massaging to make sure the AI kind of understands what these are. All right, cool. So let me just drag this over here so it's a bit easier. We want to add the first one is going to be pre-workouts, energy drinks. Pre-workouts, add option. Energy drinks. Energy drinks, intra-workouts, post-workouts, and protein. Energy drinks. All right. Post-workout and protein. All right. Let's see what else. Intra-workout, stimulant-free nootropics. Intra-workouts. Okay. Stimulant-free. Nootropics. All right, now I'm starting to get excited about this. This might be a longer one. This might be a long one. Geez, hanging tight. Nootropics. Bedroom and sleep support. I'll just call this like, I'll just call the same thing. Bedroom and sleep support. Cool. Recovery, fat burners, botanicals. Recovery, fat burners, botanicals. And I'm going to build this thing as if I know nothing about like Airtable queries or like basically creating this from scratch. I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT as like your best friend when building these systems, especially with system prompts and all that kind of stuff. Because what better way to prompt an AI to think than a different AI prompting it, right? You kind of give the outline and then you give that to AI to actually format it the way that AI likes. All right. Health and wellness, last one. Health and wellness. Cool. Next thing, I'm just going to change this to a price field. Is there a money? Is there a price? Currency. Cool. Price. Symbol, select preset. Cool. So let's just see if I write 97. Is that gonna? Yep, it automatically formats it. So let's see. The first product we're gonna add is, let's just start by category. Let's go pre-workouts. Gorilla mode. All right. Gorilla mode is the product name. Price is, we're just going to use the one without the code or whatever it's called. So it's $59.99. $59.99. Cool. Category is pre-workouts. Now we should probably just enter a description as well. Should probably add the flavors as well also. Yeah, so we should add the flavors for this, but for sake of brevity, I'm just gonna continue on just with the description, and then we can add that later. So what to expect, blah, blah, blah. Now this might give us issues later, I'm not sure, of just pasting multi-line. What I mean by multi-line is these spaces, like it's not just one single sentence without any like new enter spaces. All right. To fit your pasted data, we need to add 11 more records. Cancel, no. Wait, let's see what this does. No, don't want that. Okay. I think it's because I have this as single line text, if I'm not mistaken. Single line text. Yeah, we want multi-line. Long text, that's what we want. All right, cool. So now I should be able to, no? Let's see. All right, let's figure out what this issue is. I haven't worked too much with Airtable, so it's just gonna take me a second to figure out what we're doing here. Let's see, is anyone saying anything? All right. What do we got? Long text should work. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's the way I copied it. Let's see. If I just copy this, just with one new line, let's see what it gives us. All right, that works. Now, let me just, all right, that's fine. Yeah. All right, here we go. So long text. Let's add the next product. I'm probably going to only add a couple products per category just because, you know, this is a workshop call. Gorilla Mode OG formula. Gorilla Mode Nitric, I'll do that one. So let's copy this. Cool. What's the price? Price is $59.99. Paste that. Pre-workouts. And let's get the description. Raise nitric oxide. All right, all that good stuff. Nice. All right, next product. Gorilla Mode Base. Entry-level pre-workout formula. No, it's gay. Glycerol, beta-alanine. That's the shit that makes you itch. Respawn. Gaming formula. Nah. Energy drink. That's in the energy drinks category. All right, let's just go with this glycerol. Hyperhydration formula. Hydroprime glycerol. And I'm going to just remove this little R because I don't know if that's going to cause us issues in the future. $39.99. All right, pre-workouts. More pumps and no clumps. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next category. I'm sure you guys can see where I'm going with this. This is just going to take a little bit of time of me manually entering all this in, but I think this is good. Let me see. Seth H said, so we need to manually make the table sheet with the products. We could do this with each product, correct? You could do this. And then there's more advanced systems you could set up that could automatically like crawl websites. Like you could get a sitemap for a site and then automatically go through the products and enter this in. But for something that doesn't have like, this doesn't have a huge amount of products, like probably like 50 or probably less, probably like 30 products. So you could just manually enter this in, make sure all the data is all good. So, all right. I wonder if I can apply the same logic to housing options. Is there some way to make the carousels adaptable based on availability? Yes, absolutely. You could just set whatever type of availability in the Airtable. So you would just have like a column here that says availability, whether you're manually entering that in or maybe it's an API request. You could set all of that up. You probably would want to set up an API request that whenever a information is returned based on that specific house, you could get the availability information and then just pass that to the AI. All right. Off for the questions. Let's get back to it. Let me just plug my phone in so I can continue to see the chats. All right, cool. Want to go energy drinks. Okay, they only have one energy drink, which is fine. Gorilla Mind energy drink. Cool. How much is this? $34.99. Different flavors are different prices, actually, but we're going to ignore this. Obviously, you wouldn't ignore this if you're doing this for your own company, but for demonstration purposes, we're going to ignore this. Let's find energy drinks. Two cases. All right, the most efficacious drink. Gorilla Mind. I don't want to include these flavors just because we'd probably have our own column for each flavor for each product. So that's something we can implement if this is, if we have more time at the end, or if we'll see how it's going. And I just want to delete these emojis because anything like this can sometimes just cause issues with API requests. Intra workouts. Intra. What is this for? Upgrade and fully loaded peri-workout, formerly post-workouts to support intra-workout performance and post-workout recovery. I'm just kind of reading this so I have a better understanding of what this actually is for when we prompt the AI. And you guys are going to see me go through a bunch of feedback loops with the AI. Like, we're not going to get the exact prompt that we want right away. We're going to have to kind of like add things, take away things to make sure we get the kind of outputs that we want. Fast digesting and synergistic carbohydrates. So this is during workout, I'm pretty sure, right? Intra-workout. Yep. All right, cool. This thing cost no, this is wrong tab. Let me just close this. $59.99. Intra workout. It's going to be a long one. Don't really care. I'm going to paste the whole thing. All right, cool. Essential amino acids, glycerol. We already added that. So a lot of these have overlap in the categories, which is fine, but I'm just going to ignore this since we already put this in the pre-workout category. So essential amino acids, by the way, the only supplement you ever need is Fire Blood. Just saying. Just highlight all of this, copy, that's the description, Gorilla Mode EAAs, and then $39.99. $39.99. Cool. 2 for this. Let's just do 3. We'll do 3 for each category as a max. What looks good? These are just combo things. So let's get the hydration. Preferably not in these little packets because it's just better in a big tub. No, all right, we'll just grab the packets. All right, Gorilla Hydration. $44. Tag me with questions, G's, if you have any questions going along. I have my phone next to me with the chats open, so. Could we combine this with agentive templates? If you just mean an agentive agent, absolutely. So I built a similar system out where what I did was I had the agentive agent holding the backbone of the conversation, right? And I haven't taught you relevant AI tools, like custom tools for your agentive agent, so I'll just talk without that knowledge. So basically what I did was I had my agentive, and I had that anytime it mentioned a product, I would basically, in a code step, find the product name in the agent's response. I would automatically hyperlink the link to the product in the name whenever the agent said it, and also produce a card for the product. So a lot of you guys have been struggling with, okay, I have this agentive agent, which obviously it's amazing for holding conversation, but you're struggling with how you can incorporate like integrations because you're not really controlling the conversation on a block to block flow like you see in the demo build. So I'll probably just do a solo workshop just on that, just to show you how to kind of expand the capabilities when you're bringing agentive into voice flow. Will I do the same thing in Google Sheets in this call? No. But you can just apply a little creative problem solving and do something similar. Airtable is nice because it has these formulas where you can just request things. So, and it has built-in make.com modules, which we're going to end up webhooking to. Can I embed an AR widget into chat agent like Calendly, Google Maps? Yes. All right, let's continue. All right, next we're on to post-workouts and protein. Let me just speed this up a bit because it's taking a bit long. Gorilla mode protein, here we go. Let's get the description. Copy. It's $49.99 gorilla mode protein. Gorilla mode protein. Paste this. $49.99, and we'll select post. Okay. Head back. We got mass gainer. Good one. Grab all this nice information. Mass gainer, $69.99. $69.99. Seth Thompson's grandson says, when you're talking about integration with agentive, when it mentions a product that hyperlinks, are you talking about voice flow triggers or agentive tools? I'm talking about neither. I'm talking about just using a custom code step, and you can even ask ChatGPT to help you with this JavaScript step. What you would do is basically, let's say this is your agentive agent block, this right here. What you could do is, rather than having it respond, because how agentive works is it saves its response in a variable, rather than printing out that variable right away, you could just perform operations. So you could add like a JavaScript step and then go through and be like, okay, are any of the products mentioned in this response? If they are, let's add the hyperlink to it. And let's also add a card to it. So you guys, something you have to realize is that you can manipulate these responses. You just have to apply a little creative thinking. You can get these responses and then manipulate and perform actions based on what's contained in the responses. Like a lot of you have been wondering, okay, I have an agentive agent and it has amazing conversation, but how do I do lead capture? Well, you could do something where it's like, okay, is the agentive agent asking for an email, right? Does this agentive response contain email? Or does this user response say, have an @ symbol with an email type of string? If it does, let's take them down this flow of logic, right? You can just be creative and then route things that way. Just think of the agentive response step as any other step that you would have, just any other set AI step. That's really all it is. All right, let me get back to it. Mass gainer, post-workout and protein. Let's get quickly one more for post-workout and protein. Creatine, nice. Great supplement. All right, grab that. Creatine is $19.99, and it's just called creatine. Creatine, $19.99. Cool. On to the next. What do we got? Stimulant free. Nitric, we already added that as a pre-workout, so I'm not going to do that again. Gorilla Mind Smooth. It's a nootropic supplement. All right. Someone put a gorilla gif in the chat. Nice. $44.99. Gorilla Mind Smooth. This is stimulant free. Cool. Stimulant meaning like caffeine, basically. Gorilla Shroom. Let's see what this is. Lion's Mane. It's kind of like a stress kind of thing, if I'm not mistaken. Creativity flow, stimulant free mental clarity, mood. All right, cool. Gorilla Shroom. What's this? $49.99. Stimulant free. Last one for this category. Stimulant free. I'm already in there. Liquid glycerol. Cycline. What's that? Fat loss formula. All right, cool. I don't want to add this just because it's gonna be a bit weird with the AI. Stimulant free. Yeah, I don't want to put this. I feel like that would just fit in a different category better when we're prompting the AI. Let's just throw Gorilla Mode Nitric in here twice. I know I said earlier I wasn't going to do that, but we can totally do that. And I'm just seeing, I just have a typo right here, so let me just... Gorilla Mode Nitric, how much was this? $59.99. Actually, we have it all here, so let me just... Actually, I believe I could make this, instead of single select, could this make multiple select? But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add this twice. Stimulant free. And nitric is $59.99. So what you could do is you could have a multi-select tab. So basically I could say, all right, this specifically, instead of having to list this twice in your Airtable, you could say, all right, this is stimulant free and it's a pre-workout. And that would be something better because when we're creating an Airtable query, how we're going to do it is we're going to have the AI say, all right, if status is pre-workouts, then it will return this. And you can have it if it's pre-workouts, if it's stimulant free, it would return both. And now that I say that, I'm going to edit this field and then just call it category. Category. Cool. And I'll call this description. All right, let's continue. Shop, bedroom and sleep. Collagen peptides. Cool. It's like for hair and skin. Grab this. It's $39.99. Let's head back. $39.99. This is for all right. Gorilla Dream. Okay. Vivid dreams, deep sleep, wake up refreshed. $39.99. Gorilla Dream. Gorilla Dream. $39.99. Bedroom and sleep. Paste. All right, so it's 2 for that. Let's get one more. Whoops. Josiah said this is a truly incredible process. Yeah, this is cool because you guys get to just kind of see what this looks like for yourself, right? Every other kind of format, if it's a different workshop, I'm kind of preparing things so I can just get information across to you in a quick manner. And in the lessons, things are obviously prepared as well, but this is completely unprepared. So you guys kind of see the roadblocks and then kind of the thinking process as well. Gorilla Dream, we just did that one. All right, let's move forward to Gorilla Mind Calm. Assuming this just has like theanine and like GABA and stuff. Let's see, ashwagandha, theanine, nice. $49.99 Gorilla Mind Calm. Minds. $49.99. Call this bedroom and sleep. Paste. All right. Next category. Recovery. To be honest, I think we're just going to ignore fat burners, botanicals, health and wellness. I think up to just what we have here from pre-workouts to fat burners is enough for this demo. I don't really think we need to include. Maybe we include health and wellness. Let me just quickly see what these are like. Elite multivitamin. Yeah, we'll include health and wellness. That'll be a good one as well. But I don't think we need to incorporate fat burners and botanicals. Let's just leave it at recovery. And now that I say that, I think I'm going to actually ignore recovery because it just has a lot of repeat. Because most of the stuff is recovery. I do want to fit Sigma in there. I'm sure this Sigma is in health and wellness as well. I believe it's probably just like Tonkat Ali and Fedosia agrestis. Let's see. Yep, Fedosia Tomcat. It's just like natural test stuff, and it's also in health and wellness. So, all right, a little off track. Let's get back to it. So, skipping recovery, skipping fat turners. So yeah, we're on health and wellness. Elite multivitamin. Let's grab this. All right, copy $49.99. Elite multivitamin. Elite multivitamin. All right, $49.99. Health and wellness. Grab Sigma. This is $49.99, so we'll just paste that. Cool. One last one for health and wellness, and then we'll get into implementing everything. Beef liver, nice. Let's grab. I think this is L-carnitine, which is a good one. Yeah, L-carnitine. Gorilla Mode AR. $24.99. All right, we got everything. I think the only one we have one category for is energy drinks, which is completely fine. You could probably add that in the pre-workouts, actually, which I think might be better because it'll just make it simpler for the AI. So that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm just going to add this to pre-workouts. All right, so now we have this ready. We need to head into voice flow and think about how we're going to plan this out. Essentially, how we want to do this is first, we want to capture the user reply, right? So let's just start building the flow. We'll say, welcome to the Gorilla Mind Helper. Sure. You can ask me questions about our products. And now that I think of it, we need some type of knowledge base aspect. So I'm not going to do a crawl where it just crawls everything, but the best thing to do would have been to, So what we should have done in our table, we should add a link to each product. That'll help us a lot as well. So we definitely need that. So I'm just going to go through very quickly and just add a link to each product. This is part of the planning phase. This is part of going through it. All right. We're going to call this product link. And this is going to be URL. Create field. All right, let me just quickly go through each of these. Gorilla Mode AR. Just copy this. Cool. Sigma. Start from the top. Paste the Gorilla Mode link. Go back. What's the next one? Gorilla Mode Nitric. All right, cool. Copy. Paste Gorilla Mode Nitric. I believe it's also down here somewhere. Where'd it go? Gorilla Mode Nitric. All right. Next one we need is hydroprime glycerol. So Gorilla Mind Energy, that's the energy drink. Then we need Gorilla Mode Intra onto the Intra category. So why this is going to be useful is because whenever we request, We're going to design it so when we request a category, it's going to return all of these rows as well. So basically, we'll be able to have AI just designate what these are in terms of the dynamic carousel. So we'll have AI automatically add the button with the product link already embedded. So that's the power of these dynamic carousels. Okay. Gorilla mode intra. Pasted that. Now we need EAA's Gorilla hydration. EAA's. Gorilla hydration. Gorilla mode protein mass gainer. Creatine. Gorilla Mine Smooth, Gorilla Mine Nitric, which we already added. Hit me if you have any questions, G's, about this process so far. Collagen peptides, which I believe is in a different category. Gorilla Dream, onto sleep. Mind Calm, Elite Multivitamin Sigma. Don't you need JPEG link of each product for the carousel to work properly? No. Plug or smash. Nice one, Pope. No, you don't need a JPEG link, just any image address. You just want to make sure, like, I made the mistake before of keeping the image links on Discord, but those rotate, like they expire after a little bit. You want to make sure wherever you have your links that they're not going to change. So maybe you could just add the images separately to a Google Drive or something. Is Airtable able to automatically update Google Sheets? I'm not sure what you mean, but you could set something up in make.com where it's like, you can watch your Airtable, you can watch it for changes, you can watch new rows. So whenever a new row gets added, you could automatically update a Google Sheet as well, if that's what you're asking. Gorilla Mind Calm, did I paste this yet? Nope. All right, Elite Multivitamin Sigma, and then we're done. This is the not so pretty part of this whole process, right? Maybe we can get some elevator music on these calls next time. Just kidding. Sigma. Let me just make sure that I just copy and paste the right one. Let me just copy this really quick. I just want to make sure I had the right product for this. Okay, I already pasted. I pasted Sigma on the wrong one, so let me just paste that. And I need the Elite Multivitamin for this next one. All right, we're all set up. Let's head into voice flow. Let me just close this network tab. We don't need this anymore. So let's add, welcome to the Gorilla Mind Helper. You can ask me questions about our products, or you can tell me about a problem, and I'll help, and I'll recommend something that can help you. I mean, we'd want to make this prettier, but welcome to the Gorilla Mind Helper. You can ask me questions about our products, or you can tell me about a problem, and I'll kind of sounds. We'll just leave it for now. We'll change it in the future. Capture. Now we want to capture the replies. So the logic is now we need to send this to an AI step. And that AI step is going to select products. So basically when you're starting these things, a good thing to do is start backwards. Start at the back and then work your way to the front. So right now I'm thinking, okay, we need to create an Airtable query. First, we need to see what exact type of query we need for Airtable to return our results. So what I want to do is like, if, hey, my sleep is shit, if I'm typing it as a human, it's going to pull back sleep products and then dynamically show those, and then we'll get links to, go to checkout or whatever. So what I want to do is I'm going to end up doing make.com. Like we could do all of this directly within VoiceFlow, but for simplicity, make.com makes it super easy, and it's a good visual way of seeing things as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm in make.com. I have my Airtable set up, and so what you can do is there's a bunch of these Airtable modules, and they all have specific functions. What we're doing is we're searching records, right? So all of these in this table are records. They're all products. Each of these rows is a record, so we're searching these records. That's the module we're going to use. If we wanted to create a record, we could do that. If we wanted to upgrade a record, we could do that. A bunch of different functions. We could also make an API call, which is a bit more arbitrary, but this is just a nice user interface to just make an API call. It's kind of like taking the training wheels off, but delete this. We're going to call this get Airtable products. Yep, get Airtable products. And actually what we need to do is we need to set up a custom webhook, but we'll ignore that for now. What we want to do is see what type of filter works. So right now I've selected my table. It's called VoiceFlow integration. It's table 1, just to confirm that. You can see that here. VoiceFlow integration table 1. And we're going to do a grid view. Output fields, we want to select all of these. Formula, here's where I'm going to show you that ChatGPT is your best friend. So let's go to explore GPTs, and then let's see if there's an Airtable GPT. Airtable GPT, nice. So what does this do? How do I create formulas in Airtable? Expert in creating Airtable formulas. Boom, that's what we need. So I need an Airtable formula. Actually, I believe is it a formula or a filter? It's a formula. Okay, cool. I need an Airtable formula. Let me just hide this. To return rows based on a certain category. I believe it's just that if statement. For example, if the category is pre-workout, it would return all records for pre-workout labeled rows. You can see, yep, we got filter and a view, grid view, if category equals pre-workout, match, no match. So this is just basically saying if the category equals pre-workout, which is what we want, we have a match. This checks if the category field equals pre-workout. If true, it returns match. Otherwise, it returns no match. Exactly what we need. So let's just test this out. I believe I copied it. Let me just double check. Copy code. We'll bring this in. And we set the limit to 10. Basically, it's only going to return 10 at a time, which isn't an issue for us since we only have, I think, 4 is the max one we have in the Airtable. Let's hit OK. And we want to right-click on this module and hit run this module only. Nice. So you can see we pulled back pre-workouts, gorilla mode, price, description. We get the whole description for it. We get the product link. Same thing. We get all 5. Wait, why is this gorilla mode intro? Why is that a pre-workout? Gorilla mode intro workouts. Why is it? Should not be returning all of these. All right, so we need to inspect why. I think maybe it's because, let's see. Is it returning everything that has the word workout? I believe it is. So, yep, intro workouts, pre-workouts, 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 pre-workouts. So there should be a way to just query it and make sure it's specifically workout, post-workout and protein. Okay, this is querying any row that has the word workout in it. I need it to specifically query rows that have the exact string pre-workout. Add a new field and choose formula as the field type. Filtering view for exact match. You can refine the formula to check for an exact match. I don't think this is what we have to do because I've set something up similar before. Add a filter condition. Click on the view dropdown in the upper left corner of your table, select create a view and choose grid view. Name your new view pre-workout filtered view. Now, I don't think we need to do all that. Let's just see. Let me just play with this for a second. Let's see. If I just say workout, is it still going to return? Yeah, so it still returns all 10. So let's say I were to say pre. All right, so there's something, it's ignoring our formula right now. Because I even just put pre, but it's returning all of the, I think it's an update issue. Let me save this, refresh. I don't think there's a save button in here. Let me just completely remove the formula. Hold on. And let's see what we get. Yeah, so we're still getting, I think we're just getting the first 10 rows right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Creatine. All right. So we need to find a way to work with that. We need to find out why this filter isn't working. This is my first time working with this kind of module, so we might have to just do make an API request one. Output fields. If category equals pre-workout. Do we need a sort? No, we don't need a sort. Let's see what the chats are saying. Capitalization on category. Nah. Oh, yeah, I think that's it. Good catch, whoever said that in the chats. Mikey Mike, let's see if this is it. Nope. If category equals pre-workout. Let's see. All right, so troubleshooting 101. When in doubt, let's get a screenshot of this page. Save to clipboard, head back into ChatGPT. Here are my rows. Create the query I need to return based on the category. We might have to include the category is single select. I don't think it's equals either. Create the query I need. When I've done this in the past, I did it with an SQL database, which is much better for creating queries, but we're just going to figure out Airtable together right now. Create the query I need to return this category is single select. What other information do we want to tell it? If category. The thing is I had it as maybe GPT is just being a bit unreliable right now. Let's see. Let's find some Airtable formulas. If created time, last modified, record ID, array, date and time functions. Okay. Someone said it says pre-workout. It's not pre-workout. But still, that doesn't matter because it should have not returned any if the filter was working, if the formula was working. Let's see. Let's just test that. I don't think that's the issue though. Yeah, it's not the issue because this filter, no matter what we set, it should be returning false, which I just had this set up. I was testing it earlier and it seemed like this was the kind of format, but maybe let's see what it says. Category variable. Maybe it has to be like this. Nope. All right. I think let me see. How did I format this before? Had it as if status, if category equals books. Yes, if category, if search. False. What's the issue here? Just bear with me, geez. This is part of the process. So no matter what, this is literally, hold on, let me just delete this module. No matter what, even if I just return, like, I think that module is just bugged. Hold on. Search records. Sometimes make.com can be finicky like that too, so we might have been correct from the beginning. So we had if so it's not that. I think it's actually where the problem solving is visible. Yep. Nah, it's not double brackets because I mean I tested this before when I just had status, but I think someone's right. Usually it's if or and. So honestly, a lot of the times these GPTs are worse than just like the regular GPT 4.0 model. But let's test this out. And category equals sofa. Okay. If not, we're just gonna do a straight up API call. And category equals pre-workouts. Nice. All right, that was it. It was the if. The if was throwing it off. Shout out to M. Suvi. So basically, another thing we could do is now that I remember after actually using this, we could do also or. So we could do or category equals pre-workouts. And how do we format this? I think category equals intra workouts. How do I format it? Intra capital I. Intra workouts. All right, and then maybe I'm wrong here, but let's just say. Yep. So now yeah. So basically, you don't need the if. It's just and or. So basically, an or statement is saying, all right, if it's pre-workouts or it's intra-workouts, then return both of them. And then if we were to switch that and say and statement, it wouldn't return anything because then it would have to say if it's a pre-workout and if it's an intra-workout, which none of these are because it's single select. So if I were to do this, you see we got 0 results. So yeah, just wrong formula. ChatGPT threw us off. So we're just going to stick with or. And we're going to do just this. So basically how we're going to do this, we want to send this keyword. We want to send this keyword from VoiceFlow. So now that we know that this is the type of formula we want, let's go ahead and get our prompt going. I'm sweaty right now. I should have got some water. Fuck. All right. Let's go. Capture user reply. So we need a set AI step. Let me just think about this for a second. So we want to have something where act as an expert. I'm going to want to provide each available category. So let's write, you are an expert Airtable database assistant. We're going to do a system prompt. We're going to do GPT 4.0. Set this temperature down about 0.4 as an expert Airtable query formula. No, we don't want that because we're just going to be dynamically entering this in. So let's think about this. We could literally just pass over only the category that we need. Yeah. No, we want to do formulas because basically something that we could do in the future is identify categories that might help someone. So maybe they're like, bro, my workouts suck and I sleep like shit. We want to be able to recommend multiple categories. So therefore we want to make our formula dynamic. Like we don't just want it saying or one category every time where we only insert this variable. We want this whole thing to be dynamic and we just want the Airtable query to be very accurate. So we're going to do act as an Airtable expert Airtable formula creator. Your role is to assist users by creating accurate Airtable filter formulas based on their questions and the provided formulas based on their questions and the provided categories. So act as an expert, we got to give it some context of what it's doing. Focus on finding relevant supplement categories, product categories. Supplements, they're all supplements. Categories based on user queries. All right, we'll probably refine this with ChatGPT. We want to give it some specifics. So we want to say specifics. You use the provided categories to intelligently create. Chewick said maybe initializing the categories as variables and then call those variables inside the set AI in the system role. Maybe initializing the category. No, you don't need to do that. You can just supply it as text. Variables is just text in a nice format in VoiceFlow. So either way, if we already have a set amount of categories, that's fine. Something that I set up in a past system with a big database, an SQL database, is we're able to, like Airtable queries, like we're able to use these formulas, but they're not the best. What you really want is an SQL database. And what you can do is you can select distinct categories. So say I had 100, not 100, maybe I had like 50 categories here. Rather than just write that whole thing, maybe those categories are constantly changing, whatever it is, you could just say select distinct categories from this table, and you could just do a post request. So at the start of each conversation, you get those categories, or maybe this does this once a week, and then it supplies that set of categories to the AI. All right, let's continue. Use the provided categories to intelligently create Airtable queries. Now, the thing is with AI, it has a very good understanding of SQL queries, but it doesn't have a very good understanding of Airtable formulas. So we're going to have to give it a lot of examples. Yes, Josiah, you saw a pop up in the chats. All right. To intelligently create Airtable queries. What else do we want to say? prioritize finding categories based on topics mentioned in the user query. I'm just going to give the stubs for this, and then I'm going to just put this into AI. It'll give me a better thing. I'm going to say, if additional information is needed to refine the search, request it to make the user query as relevant as possible. Information to make the user, to make the query. Request it from all right. Now, usually I say I'd put here like an example schema for our SQL database, but this is Airtable and we're only doing the categories, so I don't think we need that necessarily. A good thing to do here is examples. So let's write examples. We'll write Q for the input. Let's say my sleep is shit and my back hurts after my workout. Assistant would write and category. Now we don't want this to be a variable, so and category equals my sleep is shit. What do we have? Bedroom and sleep support. Let me just copy this. Bedroom and sleep support. Actually, we want an or. We want an or. We don't want an and. Because I'm pretty sure this will pull both of these. So bedroom and sleep support, category equals back hurts. So we want recovery. Actually, we didn't do a recovery. So we can have it recommend like the post-workout and protein, or we can have it recommend health and wellness. I'm going to say post-workout and protein. Post-workout. All right. Now what we want to do is just quickly copy this formula, bring it into here, and then just make sure it's formatted correctly by running this module. All right, so we return Gorilla Mode protein, mass gainer, creatine, collagen peptides, Gorilla Dream, and Gorilla Mind Calm, which is good. So this is the information that we're going to end up bringing back to pass to a second AI. Nice. All right. Second question. Looking to boost my workout performance. Let's say need to go harder in the gym. Same thing. I'm gonna swap this out for pre-workout. Swap this out for intra-workout. All right, cool. One last one. Let's think of something. What's like maybe an edge case? Let's actually get one to touch on each category. So looking, I struggle with focus. Yeah, I guess all of these can be connected to focus, right? I mean, mainly it's going to be the nootropics, like the tyrosine and shit like that, which is going to be in Gorilla Mind Smooth, but we don't specifically have a focus category. So This one's going to be a bit tougher for AI to understand, but we'll just give some information about these actual categories. So, struggle with focus and lack energy. So we want to write health and wellness. Category equals intro workouts. We want stimulant free. So we have Gorilla Mode Nitric. So these two, Gorilla Mind Smooth and Gorilla Shroom, really will help focus, right? But it's about how the AI is going to relate those two things. So for now, we'll just throw it in there, and then we'll probably have to just add some information in our prompting about these specific categories, since we don't have that many. Already copied that. We want stimulant free. There's, all right, about 3 examples. Next steps, we want to add some notes. So we want to say, always ensure your Airtable queries are syntactically correct, and logically structured to meet the user's requests. Say, do not make assumptions about the user's needs beyond what is specifically explicitly stated inside the user's query. And then one last important thing, do not wrap your queries in any other text, not even backticks. And the last thing, take a deep breath and take it step by step. This is shown to improve the quality of responses, by the way, if you just add this towards the end. In the system prompt, the thing that it's going to listen to the most is the start and the finish, basically. Just want to make sure we got some examples, we got some specifics. We might want to provide the schema, basically just like what our table looks like. Say like we have product name, price, category, description, product link. Yeah. This might confuse it, but I'm just going to add it just in case. I'm just going to write schema, and then just in JSON. I'll just write it like this. Product name, price, category, description. And then product link. Description, product link. All right, cool. Oh, and then we need to give it the available categories. Here we go. And I actually am just going to save this in a variable because it makes it much easier to access later. So just grab a set AI step and just add that here. Say set available categories. Create the variable. We're going to set this to, what do we have? Pre-workout. Can I just, if I copy that, is that going to paste everything? Yeah, it's going to paste everything. So let me just I'll just type them in. You just gotta make sure you type it in exactly how you have it. Pre-workouts, price, category, description, product link. No, what am I doing? I just wrote that. We need the categories, so we need pre-workouts. Boom. Pre-workouts, intro workouts, post-workout and protein. Intro workouts, post-workout and protein. All right, so this is the categories you can select from. So off the rip, we set those available variables. Let's see, set AI, we'll just call this Airtable formula. We want to apply this to a new variable called Airtable query. Enter prompt. Here's our user instructions. So I'm going to write, we want to give it conversation history, because that just makes everything way better. So I'm going to write conversation. Actually, I don't need this in stars, but conversation history. And then we'll provide VF memory, which is their built-in conversation history variable. I think it remembers at least 10 messages about. All right, now we need, write your task. Write in Airtable formula. I guess I'm kind of using formula and query interchangeable. We'll see if that causes any issues down the line. Write an Airtable formula to find relevant categories of supplements that the user can benefit from based on the user's query. The subcategories will be pulled from the table. We have to tell it use the provided list of available categories to determine relevant categories. To determine relevant products. And I already know that the way that we're formatting this prompt, we're going to have to give it more context to actually what it's doing. Like, you're involved in some type of supplement stores product recommendation, but that's something we're just getting the bones out for this build right now. So let me just continue. We want relevant products, user question. It's going to be last utterance. And then we'll write, you don't technically have to do this, but I'm just going to do it. Airtable formula. Now it's like the last thing that gets provided is this saying, hey, basically it's your turn. We're probably going to want some more. No, we don't need that many tokens actually. Pause. 128, temperature 0.4. Might want to lower that, but let's test how this works. No, I'm going to test it from here. My sleep sucks. Let's see the variables. All right, so it did it wrong. Because we need the and. And that's what sucks about Airtable instead of like using SQL, is that AI doesn't have a good understanding of Airtable queries as it is. follow the format or category equals let's see if this helps. Yep. All right, cool. So like if I take this, should be able to bring it into make.com and confirm that this works. Yep. Nice. So let's set up our webhook. All right, what we need to do is get an API step. And actually, let's webhooks, custom webhook, move the trigger here, add a hook. I'm gonna call this receive Airtable query. We don't need any IP restrictions. Just bring this row count up. And now this needs information on what the data structure is going to look like. So, all right. Post request. Boom. Request URL. Copy. Headers. Actually, I don't think we need a header. Yeah, we don't need a header. We can just provide the variable. Let me just think for how we're going to do this. Yeah, we can just provide the variable. So the key, it doesn't really matter what this is. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it Airtable formula. For the value, what did we save this to? We saved this to Airtable query. All right, cool. Airtable query. All right, then we want to capture, we're going to end up sending a response webhook. So we want to capture the response to a new variable called Airtable response. Create the variable. Nice. So now if we connect this, I'm just going to call this send AT query. And I just like to color my API blocks differently. It helps organization wise. So let me right click here. Oh, block color. Nice. So let's test this out. Send a request. Nope, not that. Let's go and find. This is just determining the data structure first. So I'm just going to copy this over. It's going to see what this looks like. Where am I going here? Generate 400. All right, so now it's successfully determined the data structure. Nice. Now what we want to do is set up this Airtable so that the formula is pulled from this Airtable query variable. That's all we have to set up. And then we want to add a webhook response. So that's going to look like, so this is how the data is output, right? From our Airtable, what we need to do is get an array aggregator. So if I just go into flow control and get array aggregator, we need to add this right in between. And what this is going to do is, since we have like a bunch of different values, like we have a bunch of different bundles, we want to bundle this all into one response that we can then send back to VoiceFlow. So source module, Airtable, leave that. And we're going to select everything that's not the webhook. And basically, this is going to, like I said, take all of the bundles and then put them into one. So let's test this out. All right. So what we need to do is run this, and we're gonna head to voice flow and then resend our thing. We get 500 because why? Or category automatic failure response was sent to the webhook. Let's just redetermine. Hold on 1 second. Sometimes these webhooks can be finicky, so determined 500. Okay. Let's see. We have a post request. Well, let me just see what's going on here. Oh, it's because I didn't set this up yet. That's why. So if I just quickly unlink this and I run this again. You can see that we have all of these input bundles and they're all in one array output bundle. Well, yeah, they're all in one array. So we can connect this. For the body, we can just add the array object. And if we ran this right, this should return our information. So it gives us an ID. We don't need that. It gives us the price, which is good. It gives us the category, created time. All that doesn't matter. What we really want is the description, the product link, and the product name, which is nice. And then it also gives us the length of the amount of bundles, which can be helpful. So what we need to do is, this is outputting in it's an object. If it was a JSON response, we could format it nicely in the JSON response, and then we could pluck the variables out individually using this capture response part. But what I'm just going to do is grab a set variable, drag this onto this block, and then we want to set the, what is this? Airtable response. We want to stringify this. So if I just set Airtable response, we want to do JSON.stringify Airtable response. And this is going to make it so it's not an object. You don't have to worry about what that is. Just copy this. And now if we test this block, let's just test the whole thing. Need to get this running. My sleep is bad. Let's see the stringified response, Airtable response. We get everything. Nice. Now we need to be able to provide this to an AI, and it's going to come up with, actually we need to webhook this to, all right, this is the exciting part. This is where we create the dynamic carousel. Someone just said I've been doing this in 2 hours. I didn't know that. That was like an hour. All right. Let's see. We need a second post. Yep, second post. Send the SQL response to the carousel. So we need to do a webhook. We need to create a carousel dynamic variable. Ooh, and then I'm going to show you guys paths, which is going to be interesting. All right, you guys are getting some sauce. Someone said, damn, despite his typing, this is my sleep is bad. Do you mean it? Nah, bro, my sleep is good. Grinding. Yes, sir. So second post request, we can just copy this. Copy, paste. Let's set up. Let me duplicate this tab. So let's get our asses in gear. Head to scenarios, workshop scenarios, create new scenario. Let us copy. No, let's just build it from scratch. Webhook, custom webhook. Wait, that's a mail hook. Hold on. Delete webhook, custom webhook. Add a new hook. I'm just gonna call this create dynamic carousel for a table. And actually, before I finish this, let me just quickly set up the scheduling for this. So if I turn this on, no, I should be able to do this. And then quickly send a response here. All right, nice. So the scheduling's on. Wait, actually, let's test it one more time. No, it's not on. So this is the part that can be finicky. I kind of explained in the end of system 3 that like you have to do some weird stuff to get this working. Scenario is not running. Okay. Let me just save this, refresh this tab, and then we're going to run this with it off. Send, it's going to accept. Might have to do this a couple times. Turn the scheduling on, see if we send. All right, now it's working. Scheduling's on, I'm sending this request, we're getting the information back. Nice. So usually, rule of thumb, delete anything that's in the webhook queue. So you can show your queue here, you just go into that tab, delete everything that's in the queue, run this while the scheduling's off, and then immediately after, just switch the scheduling on, and then you should be able to get data immediately as it arrives. All right, new scenario. We have our webhook. We want to add a ChatGPT module, create a completion. And the good thing, we could totally create the carousels dynamic. Actually, we could create the carousels dynamically in VoiceFlow, but I think the modules in make.com are much better for kind of programming the exact kind of response that we want, just because we can do this whole thing where we can add a system message, a user message, and a system message, and then it kind of understands better rather than providing that whole example separately. So, and we can also select GPT-4o Mini, which is their newest version of GPT-4o. It's cheaper than 3.5 and it actually performs better. So that's another plus. We can't use 4 Mini in VoiceFlow yet. All right, so system message. Let's just think about what we want here. So we want, you're an expert JSON formatter. That's definitely what we want to tell it. JSON formatter. So, all right, you're an expert JSON formatter. Only output JSON formatted data. You should only output the cards for the number of input users that you are given. Or the number of inputs, let's just say products that you are given. Based on the following JSON structure example that represents a carousel. A carousel with 2 cards. And then we'll write generate a new JSON carousel. Generate a new JSON carousel to render the cards from the following API response. From the following API response. And say generate a JSON carousel based on the structure phone. Based on the structure from the following. From the following API response. Actually, we're going to end up putting this in the user prompt, so I don't think we need this, but let's just continue. I'm just going to tell it you can create up to 10 cards, never add any explanation. Never add any explanation to your answer. Always return only JSON as your answer. All right, cool. Now what we want to do is add a, I'm just going to set these output tokens high, add a user message. Now we want to give an example of what we're inputting, right? So this is an example of what we're inputting. Actually, let's run this and get it exactly how it's going to be input after it's stringified. So let's say sleep sucks. And get the variable, Airtable response, Command C, and then we can just paste that in. This is what it's going to look like to them. Now we need to create an assistant output example. And what we're going to do is head to VoiceFlow, and we're going to grab our example that we put here that we got from the network tab. Just Command A or Control A on Windows, copy this, paste it in here, and now we need to change this depending on what we're doing. So if let's think. We want to model our exact, now that I think of it, exactly how we want this stuff. So we want the title, description. All right, so yeah, we might have to do a little bit more thinking on this. So carousel, what we want is this to be, what did we get as an example? We got bedrooms, collagen type 1, 2. We need to head into here. All right, so that's very annoying. Why is this? That's the description. Okay, we want the title, product name. Here we go. Never mind. Collagen peptides. Then stimulant free. We need to change this text to be for the description. So let's just see. We'll just grab the first sentence, and then we'll prompt it to only grab the first sentence. And then we're just going to paste that here as well. Just want to make sure everything's formatted correctly. Image URL, we need to grab the image URL from this first response. Oh, shit. All right, so we didn't grab the image. So what we need to do tomorrow is we need to get another row for the image URL for each product, which we should have done. And that way it could dynamically populate the image URL as well. So we'll just skip that for now. You know what? Let's call it here. It makes more sense to call it here. I'll answer like 1 or 2 questions, and then we'll just dynamically get this set up tomorrow. Cedric says, simplify this using AI. I think you mean this, but basically, I like to keep this whole response because you don't need every field, but some things like we can add the font weight, we can add italics, and what we're going to end up doing tomorrow is just better modeling what we want our exact carousel to look like, and that way we can prompt the AI to generate it dynamically. Are you building a product recommendation agent? Yes. Let's get questions related somehow to this. Is this going to be using custom actions to create carousels? Can you then also do a workshop on using this for more than carousels? Yes, this is using custom actions for carousels. As far as using it custom actions for more than carousels, we'll take a look at that. I mean, we don't want to really dive into any custom code yet. So basically the way I'm showing you guys how to do this, there's no code, it's just all AI. But in the future, once we get some more lessons out in no-code automation and then more pertinent stuff like, WhatsApp and then those type of integrations and workshops, we can get into some more advanced topics. Pricing and onboarding, all that stuff is coming in service delivery. It's going to roll out over this week. Me and Pope are working on that in the background. The whole setup is quite interesting. VoiceFlow to Airtable to make me back to VoiceFlow to make me. That's awesome. The logic behind this is challenging to build it. Well, once we completely build this tomorrow, finish building this, you'll understand the complete logic behind it, and you'll understand really your understanding of how we can build these kind of systems will grow, because you'll realize that you're not confined strictly to Airtable. To VoiceFlow in these simple conversations that you're used to in the demo builds. Like you can really do so much functionality just by simply webhooking to make.com. Like I did that whole workshop on how to webhook to make.com, but it really just showed you only how to do that. It didn't really explain upon the applications, and you guys are seeing in real time in this workshop the applications of this. It's super powerful. So, all right, we're going to call it. That was a good workshop. We'll pick it up tomorrow, and then you guys will get the rest of how you can create dynamic carousels for e-commerce product recommendations.